I'd like to introduce Dr. Maria Vallejo. Dr. Vallejo has been named among the top 25 women in higher education.
Thank you, Lainey, and thank you for my cheering group over here. Just remember, whatever I tell you, I may not remember tomorrow, so take notes. Before I start my conversation with you, allow me to tell you a little bit about who I am and what's important to me as a leader in higher education. You know, I'm a firm believer, and I'm sure that many of you are, that our experiences really shape our perceptions, our choice of jobs, our choice of mates and friends, etc. Therefore, if you know where I'm coming from, then you'll also have a sense of my own world lenses. My childhood experiences of living in poverty in the South Bronx as a limited English speaker contributed to my great desire for inclusion, diversity, fairness, and opportunity for all. I started translating for my family at age 8, and as that, it was a very negative experience. And I say negative because my exposure to things that as a child I should not have been exposed to, including racism, including issues against any particular new group that comes into a community, really left some taste in my mouth where I said, you know, I'm not like that. And I have to, in a sense, prove now that I'm not like that, that we're not all like that. We migrated here to the United States because Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. And we migrated here really because of my father's job. He worked for a newspaper in Puerto Rico, and it went on strike. And in Central, South America, the islands, when they go on strike, it's not for a few months, it's for a few years. And so after a year, my father said, this cannot go on. So he came to New York and worked for a year, got himself settled, and then sent for us. And in the meantime, my mother was selling off our furniture so that we could have food. But she never would tell anyone, and she didn't want my father to worry. My mother never let on as to the struggles. And so I grew up not realizing I was poor. And it wasn't until I applied for financial aid to go to college that I found out I would live below the poverty line. And it was like, oh my God, I'm poor, wow. But you don't know, because everyone that lived in our neighborhood was poor. We weren't exposed to television, computers, etc. And so the world out there didn't touch us. And so whether we were Jewish, Spanish, African American, we were all in the same boat. And families helped each other. According to the American Psychological Association, women are rated as highly as men, sometimes even higher, when it comes to being effective leaders. Yet the APA also states that men tend to rate themselves as significantly more effective in the workplace than women rate themselves. They also rate themselves as more ready for that next position. They've done studies and they find that women, they have to be almost like 70 to 80% ready in their minds before they take the risk for that next position. While men is like, I'm ready. And so they take that risk. And you never know, because really it's all based on the applicant pool. When you're going for a job, it's all based on the applicant pool. You don't know who your competition is. And you may be the best and the brightest and not even realize it, or you may have something to learn given who's competing with you for that particular job. So keep that in mind. We do not rate ourselves as effective, and we take too long to make that move. And these findings are surprising given that men on the average continue to be paid more and advance into higher managerial positions faster than women. You must be comfortable taking risks. If you keep your voice silent, you become irrelevant. And that's something that early on I had to learn, that I had to take a risk and speak and show my knowledge base. Because I didn't have the confidence that I had that knowledge base until I started talking and people said, oh wow, she knows what she's talking about. Maria, you should have said that before. I also learned very nicely to say, I said the same thing because a man had said it and someone listened to that man and didn't even hear what I had to say. And so I had to learn to also say that. You can create a competitive advantage by being yourself. Differentiate yourself from others by being passionate about what you speak about what you want to do. And if you're not passionate, you're in the wrong job. And you're going to be unhappy. And it doesn't matter how much they pay you. It's not going to work. So your uniqueness can really assist you, whatever your credentials are, whatever your experiences are, both personal and professional. And don't ever let one person's rejection close the doors to future opportunities. Don't be so devastated by that rejection that you're not going to try. Because we're going to get a lot of rejections in life, that's for sure. Just lick your wounds, suck it up, and keep going. And then your network is so important. You know, you cannot move to the next step unless you know how to do what you're doing well. Because somehow it will come back. And you will realize, again, where your weakness is. And unless you have an ego that can say, I need help, you're not going to be successful. Visualize success. You know, Harvard did a study many, many moons ago on achievement motivation. And they did a study on many, many very professional, successful men in corporate America. And they isolated what were the traits that made these men successful. And of course, one was risk-taking. And one of them was visualizing success. They saw themselves actually doing that next job. They saw themselves walking across the stage, getting that award. And that kept them striving for that particular goal that they had in mind. Women don't do a very good job of that. I don't know why we're afraid to visualize ourselves doing something great, but we need to. Ask yourself daily, what does success look like for you in your position in that office you're in? Because that will keep you focused. That will help you not use your energies unwisely. And invest in your relationships. Your friends do matter. Your husband or family or partner, they will keep you sane. And if you don't have that to go back to, then find some good friends that you could go drinking with, that you could vent with, that you could just get it out and get validated. Have them say, you're good, girl. Go on, do it. It's okay to fail. It's what you do with the failure that counts, and just keep on going. We're responsible for creating the future for our communities, all of us, and I feel very passionately about that. Our education and business communities need leaders. They need leaders that care, that have integrity, that want to make a difference, and that want to help other people move into their shoes. Because I'm on my way out. Thank you very much.